Hi there, welcome to Long Distance Review and welcome to my Download Festival special. I was going to try and think of a snappier title and I couldn't. So this is going to be my review of Download Festival. I just got back from Download Festival. It's Tuesday as I'm speaking. I don't know when I'm going to get this video uploaded, but I'm recording on Tuesday, so apologies if I look hungover, tired, jaded. I'm all three. Very hungover. This is my second day of a hangover, which is strange. Never used to get 2-day hangovers, getting old. And yeah, but anyway, I had a really good weekend at Download Festival. The weather was fantastic. I'm sure everyone who goes will agree. And I think Download put on a really, really good festival as always. So I'm going to run through some of the bands I watched and some of my thoughts about the bands and some of my thoughts about the festival at the end. So I'll just crack on with it really. The first day on the Friday, the first band I watched, which I didn't really mean to watch, I was sort of walking past them later on and we stopped and checked them out, was Avatar on the main stage. Now Avatar are a band I've never really been keen on. I've checked them out a few times. I thought, you know, there was not a lot of hype, there's quite a lot of buzz about them recently. So I watched a couple of their songs on YouTube and checked them out. Not really my cup of tea. They're not a terrible band, they're just not really my thing, I think. A bit too power metal at times. They've got a gimmick, which is fine. They have this concept about them, you know, Avatar country and this whole sort of world they're trying to create. So theatrically, I think they're exactly the right band to put on at a festival. For the casual watcher like myself, it's entertaining to watch. The frontman's got a great voice, he's got a great stage presence, he's got a great personality, and the band themselves, they sounded pretty good. The songs that I'd heard before, I heard on stage, they sounded better live, and I think in a festival environment, they come across a lot better. So yeah, Avatar, they were pretty good. And anyway, the first band I really wanted to see on the Friday was Andrew WK, who was on the second stage in the middle of the afternoon. Now Andrew WK, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everyone knows who Andrew WK is, but he's been around for quite a while now, probably about 10-15 years. And I remember watching him first time at Leeds Festival, I think in about 2002, or maybe even earlier. And that was on the I Get Wet tour, the album cycle for the album I Get Wet. And he was fantastic. He was full of energy. The crowd were buzzing. He was a big thing at that point in time. And I Get Wet was such a big album, full of absolute party bangers, let's say. That he came across so well. So I was really interested. This will be the first time I've seen him since then. Fair enough to Andrew. He looks and sounds great. He's full of energy on stage, and he's really getting the crowd whipped up. And the crowd were really big for him, and he was really up for it. Let's just say, I'd have liked to have heard the I Get Wet album in full. I think his recorded material since I Get Wet has been pretty patchy, let's say. I don't think it's been awful. But I don't think it's been anything that's been up to that standard. And when he's still, when his big songs are all the ones off that I Get Wet album, the rest do seem a bit fillery and a bit samey. But saying that, the band sounded tight. He sounded great. Great crowd pleasing sort of set. He had that huge 90-second countdown to Party Hard, which was an odd countdown, which I thought wasn't going to work. But then it got to about 30 seconds and the whole crowd were really chiming in with it. And it built up the anticipation for the song. And the song went down a storm. And the crowd seemed to be really up for it. So Andrew WK, decent. Just wish he had more songs from I Get Wet. I'd loved him to have played the song I Get Wet as well. My favourite song on the album. After Andrew WK on the Friday, I stuck around because I wanted to watch Jonathan Davis on the second stage. Now, Jonathan Davis is an interesting one. I did a review of his recent albums, his recent solo album, sorry, on one of my previous videos. Go check that out, the album called Black Labyrinth. I personally think it's a decent album, and I know it's divided a few opinions online. People who are big Korn fans have gone, no thanks, this isn't what we want from you. But there are people who are quite into it. So it was really interesting to see what he was going to bring to the festival live performance. I know on recent solo shows he hasn't been playing any material from Korn. So I thought maybe at a festival he'd throw in a Freak on a Leash or Blind, but he didn't, and he didn't play any Korn songs, so he stuck purely to the solo stuff. And I thought the solo material sounded pretty good. A few of the crowd seemed to really enjoy it. There were some fans of the album there by the looks of people singing along. I really liked the solo stuff. I think the songs came across well. I think his voice was excellent. Jonathan's, he's a music legend really in our world, and his voice was on top form. The band are really, really tight. I thought the instrumentation was excellent because it's not an easy album to play live. I guess some of the songs very difficult structures to it. All a bit world musicy, but I thought they did a really good job, especially on some Basic Needs, where it's got the breakdown in the middle of all the world music pieces. So yeah, I thought he did really well. But yeah, like I said before, just drop a Korn song in there next time, and you'd have had all the crowd on your side. I can't help but think that the big crowd that was there for him were all hoping for that. But never mind, I still thought he was good. Then I stuck around on second stage because one of the bands I wanted to see this weekend is a band called Hell Is for Heroes. They were a huge band in the late 90s and the end of Brit rock, let's say. They were sort of alt rock, Brit rock. Their album, The Golden Handshake, is revered amongst that genre, and it's a really big album. It's a fantastic album. And they haven't really been a working band, let's say, for a long, long time. They came back and did a tour last year, or earlier this year, sorry, I think with the band A, and toured that album. And so when they were announced with Download, I was really pleased. But then see them that far up on the second stage, I thought, that's optimistic. And it looked like people voted with their feet this weekend because the crowd for them was tiny. And it's a real shame because it's a band I adore. And they didn't pull the crowd at all. And I'm not surprised because really anyone under a certain age won't know who they are. And then the people who do know who they are, probably wasn't enough of them at that festival. They clashed with Bullet for My Valentine and people getting places for Avenged. So it was a big ask for them to be that far up on the second stage. And it showed. Like I say, the crowd was small and the band seemed a little bit grumpy about it. They didn't seem to be enjoying it as much as I thought they would. They sounded good, let's say that. I thought they sounded really good. And for me personally to hear, I've always wanted to see them live and I never got the chance when they were around. So I think probably I'm a bit biased and thought they were really good. The songs like Five Kids Go sounded fantastic. And the front man's really good. He came out into the crowd. He was right next to me doing like handstand crowd surfing on a very small crowd. It was probably quite difficult, but he put a lot of energy into it. And I think it was just a shame there wasn't that many people there and the crowd didn't seem that up for it. There wasn't a lot going on. So it's a real shame for them, but a real strange booking that high up the bill. But I love that. Go check out their album, The Golden Handshake. I think it's a real underrated gem. And yeah, that was it for me. I didn't bother watching Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, for me, I'm not really into Avenged Sevenfold. I remember getting Backcountry when it came out, thinking it was an okay album. We got a couple of decent songs off it, but there's nothing that's really ever struck me since that, I thought was brilliant. I think it's more just they're not for me band. I know a lot of people love them, and personally, I think it was really good to have them headlining again. Although they've headlined once before, and to give them another chance, a band who isn't, let's say, one of the older statesmen of headlining festivals, it's good to always give a newer band a chance. And Avenged being a marginally newer band compared to others, it was good to see them give them a chance. The crowd looked big for it. I walked past, it looked like a lot of people were enjoying it. The stage show looked good. So I really hope they did put in a decent performance. I've read online a few mixed reviews of them, so it's a shame if people didn't enjoy it. I hope they still get given chances like that to other bands of that size, because I think Download needs it and they need new headliners for the future. So, great that Avenged have got to that level. It's great that they managed to headline again. I hope they did a decent job. That was it for day one. I'll put day two on another video because I'm going on a bit. So day two will be on another video. And cheers. So if you check out my next one, that'll be up in a few days. Thanks very much.